In this movie, I want to take a closer look at the event library and how you can organize it to enhance your editing experience. If you look over here on the left side of the screen, you'll see a small button, and we've used this button before, but all this does is simply hide or show the event library. So you might be in a situation where you don't necessarily want to look at the list of events, you just want to work with your clips, and this gives you a lot more real estate to work with. Also, never panic if you can't find your event library, just go back over here and click this button. Now I want to talk to you about sorting the event library. And Final Cut Pro X is very robust in how you can look or sort your events. In previous nonlinear editing applications, you would have to organize things into folders, they would have to only live in one folder and not another folder. It was very easy to lose things, and it wasn't very dynamic. Because of the ability to sort by smart collections and keyword collections, Final Cut Pro X is way more robust. Now let's take a closer look at the list in our event library. You see at the top I have additional media. This is the media that I stored on my scratch disk. If I scroll down, I see the Everybody Dance Now footage. If I scroll further down, we actually see the event library that was created when I imported my iMovie project, and that's called Surfing. Now, if you look at this drop down here, you can choose how you want to sort all of these events. Now, many of them are self-explanatory, but I want to point out some of the key ones. The first one is choosing whether you want to group your events by disk or not. If you have that selected, Final Cut will actually tell you which events are on which hard drive, which can be very useful if you're looking for specific footage and you know the drive that it's on, or perhaps an entire event is missing, and this will point out that perhaps that drive is not attached to your computer. So we see the Macintosh hard drive, where you dragged in the exercise files into your movies folder. And then if we scroll down, we can see the scratch disk, where I captured the additional media, as well as the footage off the camera and the card. I'm going to point out one more thing, and it seems rather obvious, but it merits conversation, and that is dates. By default, when you import anything into an event library, if the metadata has the date that it was recorded attached to it, you can organize by date, just like you can organize your iPhoto library by the year the photos were shot. Footage from 2003, 2004, 2010, 2011, and so on. So this is another very quick way to organize your media. In the drop-down menu, here is your choice for grouping events by date. You can do it just by year, or you can break it down even into more detail of year and month. This can be excellent if you're cutting a documentary. Other times, you really don't care about the date the footage was shot, so you just want it to be in one large group. So if you go ahead and you check Group Events by Date, you'll see everything in just a list without a calendar attached to it. If I want to further make this a larger group, I'll just uncheck Group Events by Disk. Now let's quickly look at some other ways that you can sort your event library. The last checkbox on the list before the break says Arrange Events by Most Recent. And this is very useful if you're looking for the last pieces of media that you imported into your project. Now, below the line, and you see there's a thin grayed line here, and there's two choices that say Group Clips By and Arrange Clips By. And we'll look at this in a separate movie.